Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Randy Scott in person. How are you today, Randy?
Doing good, Tracy. How are you?
You had really large news this week about the Wyoming government standing behind you. I'd love for you to tell us what that really means.
Sure. As you know, the state of Wyoming is a great place to do business if you're a natural resource company, and we have worked very hard to court our relationships both at a community level as well as a statewide level. As we've progressed the project, we've made continuous forays to the government to let them know what we're doing. And I think it's finally paying off for us now at this point in time. We've just announced that we have a resolution that was passed by both the House and the Senate of the state in favor of development of the project. Specifically, it asks the Forest Service to keep moving the project along on a reasonable schedule for permitting. That resolution was also signed by the governor of the state of Wyoming, and the governor also has a program underway right now in the state of Wyoming where he is focusing on diversifying the economy of Wyoming as well as adding value to their natural resources. So we fit that bill very well, and we have gotten additional endorsement from what's called the Wyoming Business Council, which is the executive branch agency that helps to do the economic development in the state of Wyoming, and they have given us an endorsement or at least a recognition of how important the project is, and are willing to continue to work with us towards development of the project and potentially the financing of the project.
And of course, you had a substantial year this last year with your pre-feasibility study results out, your permitting. Can you give us a bit of an overview?
Sure. I think the work that we did in 2014 culminated in the preliminary feasibility study. The preliminary feasibility confirmed the economic and technical merits of the project, which we all anticipated. But I think we were very pleased with the fact that we were able to meet the strategy that we had set out for the project, for the development of the project, which was to build a very low capital cost project that was going to produce meaningful quantities of rare earths. We were able to do that because of the location in Wyoming. We're surrounded by infrastructure in Wyoming, which is very unusual for any mining venture. But that allows us to build a small project, a smaller project, because we don't have to pay for all of the infrastructure. The second part of the thesis, though, is that we were able to identify a high-grade zone in the resource, and that high-grade zone will allow us to mine for not just 1 or 2 years, but for 9 years at an average grade 50% higher than the overall resource is. So we'll be mining at an average grade of about 4.5% for 9 years on the project. During the first years, we're actually mining at a grade close to 6%.
This brings me to one of the most topical issues in the sector right now, which is, of course, the extraction processes. And you, of course, put out a news release that you have something that's very competitive.
Yep. Let me give you a little context on that. We have filed 5 patents now. Our technology is a combination of conventional technology as well as new technology that we've developed. The preliminary feasibility is based on producing a 98% plus pure rare earth concentrate. And that's a very pure concentrate in the industry. The only elements that, other than the rare earths that are in there, happen to be thorium. And we have, since we released the preliminary feasibility study with the concentrate as the product, we continued to do work on the metallurgical side of things to produce an even purer product, an even purer concentrate, and then we decided that we would take a look at whether or not we could separate those products. That test work on a bench scale basis took place about 2 months ago. We were very impressed by the results. We've decided to move the separation testing, do additional work on that, and we have, and it's underway right now. It's all at bench scale right now, but we're getting good results, and our plans are over the next, sometime probably the next 3 months or so, to move it into pilot plant testing.
So now that I have you face to face with me, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you, what do you think is going to happen with rare earth pricing this year? Because I believe we're getting ready for another bull market.
Yeah, I think bull market would be a good way for us to describe it too. I mean, since we last chatted, you know, we were optimistic at that time that we'd hit the bottom of the marketplace. We weren't so sure, frankly, in the December-January time frame, but obviously since then things have started to change. We've seen changes in China, fairly dramatic changes in China. Prices are beginning to move up, and we remain optimistic. I would say that we're cautious, though, because you know, these things can run away if you're not careful, and then we find ourselves back in the boom-bust cycle on this stuff. And if you've got a real project like we do, we really would like to see steady growth in those prices, but not big swings in prices going forward.
That's one of my favorite answers I've had in my many interviews, is you have a real project. Yeah. So Randy, what should we expect as shareholders in the next couple of quarters?
Well, right now, I think that the focus has to be on our separation technology. We think that's a major innovation and one that we're going to move directly into the pilot plant testing, assuming we have the success we're looking for. That is work that we will be focusing on. I think the other thing, though, is we want to move the permitting ahead as well. So the permitting is moving ahead nicely, but we also are awaiting some results on the EIS to begin the state permitting as well as the NRC permit licensing that we have to do. All of those are things that are underway right now for us as well.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Randy. That was a great update.
My pleasure, Tracy. Thanks very much.